What's up, Trader's Edge? It's Mark Sebastian, your only option. And this is your look at the week ahead. Today, I'm going to be talking about what's going on with the S&P and the triple Qs. We're going to talk about what's going on with volatility in the VIX. And I'm going to give you the 5 stocks I am watching closely for the week. If we have some time, we'll look at gold and oil as well. So let's dig in. All right, so Friday was one of the craziest days I've ever seen in my 20 plus years of trading. We went from down over 40 to rallying over 40 points. That is a crazy turnaround. But what's really interesting is look at where we turned around. We got really close to the 50-day moving average and then bounced. And then not only did we blow through the 50, we then bounced off the 50. We blew through the 21-day and ended up having a really strong close. We were trading this during trade to close, Vaz and I, and she said, go long. The S&P was down about 12 at the time. We went long that entire hour, and it was one of the most profitable hours of trading that I've ever seen. Triple Q's, kind of a similar story. Now, the Q's did manage to close the day still red, but barely red after being down significantly. They also got really near that 50-day moving average. What was going on Friday? Well, it was interesting. Most of the day, the story was rotation. We were seeing names like 3M and Johnson & Johnson have really strong rallies. But what was down was names like Nvidia, names like Google, Apple went from green to red to then green again. Just all around, we saw money leaving tech and entering into some of the big industrial names and banks and things like that. But what happened was in the last hour, the rest of the market stayed up, but then a big amount of money stepped in and started buying the Qs, buying tech. So we were basically kind of flattish because we'd seen the rest of the market rally. Then when tech started to turn around, that's what really launched the Qs and the NASDAQ and the S&P 500 much higher. Another area of kind of interesting movement is the Russell 2000. Look at this move they made. Look, down, touched the 50-day, was actually below it on Wednesday, to back above the 21-day. Pretty bullish action in the Russell 2000. And what did this do to the VIX? The VIX got absolutely hammered on Friday. Went from a high of almost 15 on Thursday and touching almost 15 on Friday to closing below 13. Just a wild move in the VIX. And VIX futures term structure continues to be in a nice contango. This is playing really well into my UVXY play that I put on, along with several other trades that we've been doing. When we're in a contango, market is generally pretty bullish. All right, so what are the stocks I'm watching? I am keeping a tight eye on Apple. Apple is threatening 200 again. It's hit off this kind of 192.5 level multiple times over the last few days, and has kind of failed that multiple times. Can it get a bid? I'm watching Nvidia. Nvidia went from having a really bad Friday to kind of salvaging the day and closing basically at the low from the 30th. So Nvidia, is it going to go back below 1,100? Is it going to make a run at 1,000? Or are we going to see 1,200 post haste? I'm watching that very closely. Next on my list are the mid-cap banks, KRE. KRE, after kind of an abysmal, kind of middle of the month, to the 29th is getting a nice rally. Can it get back above the 21-day and make a run back at 50? I am watching Target closely. Terrible earnings, huge rally on Friday, kind of completely filled its gap. I think Target is a dumpster fire. I'm watching this one closely because I think the long-term outlook on Target kind of stinks. And then last but not least, I'm watching JP Morgan. JP Morgan back above 200. Can it take out the old highs? That's going to be interesting. And bonus one I'm watching is Qualcomm. Qualcomm, after blowing up to near 220, briefly broke 200 on Friday. It did manage to hold. Can it get its rally back, or is it going to have a little mean reversion and maybe head back toward 190-ish before rallying? That's kind of one of the big questions I'm asking. All right, now last, let's look at gold. Gold is consolidating. Gold is channeling. You can see it went from up to down, but managed to hold the 50-day. I'm really interested to see what that does. And then oil. Oil started off the day very strong on Friday, but has since softened up. Oil looks really weak. I still like it to go higher. I think there's some good reasons to be bullish this one, but oil is looking soft, and oil vol. Look at the implied vol on oil. It's at a 6-month high. So energy implied volatility is pretty darn expensive. All right, folks. By the way, all right, you've got to be checking out Trade to Close. We had an amazing last hour. And also, everyone from Trade to Close, everyone from Option Pit is going to be in Chicago July 22nd through the 24th. I'd love for you to join me there. We're going to go to a nice dinner. I'm going to take you to a Cubs game. We're going to take you to my favorite trader bar called Ceres. I've got an incredible group of speakers lined up. People like Noel Smith, Mike and Matt Thompson, Russell Rhodes, just an incredible group on top of my team that's going to be there live trading and teaching with you. So if you'd like to join, you can click the link in this email. If you're watching me on YouTube, please like and subscribe and leave us a comment. If you ask me a question, I will get to it and answer it. All right, folks, I hope you have a great rest of your weekend, and I'm looking forward to a great beginning of June for trading. I am Mark Sebastian. I am your only option. Have a good one.